Every week, viewers vote for your choice online in this, our Friday Lightning Round poll. And this week, Cabinet Reshuffle won with 36% of the votes. And we are back with the panel. Okay, Bill, so Susan Rice, she hasn't been nominated for anything, but we think she might be nominated possibly for Secretary of State. Although it seems the White House is doing some head counting after not a great week up on Capitol Hill.
I mean, it was really striking. I spoke with some of the Republican senators privately who went before they were to see Susan Rice, and I would say their mood was they would have liked for her to be able to make her case successfully enough that they could say, look, I don't approve of what she did on the Sunday after the September 11th attacks, but, you know, you got in the benefit of the doubt you give to the president. He should have his own person as Secretary of State. I think she was so unsatisfactory in her answers that I do think now she faces close to united Republican opposition.
You have other stories coming out about companies that she's invested in. Environmentalists have some problems. There's companies that had ties to Iran that raised some news stories that her people say are not a problem anymore. Point is that is this an issue for this White House, and do you think the president's still going to put her forward?
I never thought he would put her forward. I think that he has been very protective of her through this whole episode and said that she was being unfairly assailed. But I think that John Kerry has been the leading candidate all along, and I think that what we've seen from the Senate, people like Susan Collins, a Republican from Maine, is that she thinks that John Kerry would be a pretty good idea, although there are people, some of whom are sitting at this table, who think that John Kerry has his negatives as well. But I think John Kerry is the leading candidate. And if you go over, the other big ticket item here is Treasury Secretary, and you see Geithner leaving, Geithner who's been involved in these negotiations on the Hill, and there's much talk about Erskine Bowles, who was part of the Bowles-Simpson, or you could get someone like Jacob Lew, who's the White House Chief of Staff.
When Susan Rice lost Susan Collins, perhaps the most mild-mannered senator in the Congress, and the senator who introduced Rice when she was nominated to be the UN ambassador, when you lose Collins, you've lost the world. And that, I think, I don't quite understand how she went around with these meetings where she was going to present her best side to McCain, to Graham, to Collins, to Ayotte, and she came out on the, I'm talking about Susan Rice, she came out on the wrong end of this. For some reason, I think her nomination is in deep trouble. The president, if he's smart, is not going to nominate her, because if he does, the Benghazi issue is going to rise again.
UN-Palestinian vote significance, big picture.
There's a great irony. The vote happened precisely and deliberately on the day on which, in 1947, the General Assembly voted to divide British Palestine into two states, a Jewish state and an Arab state. The Jews accepted it, the Arabs rejected it because they couldn't countenance the existence of a Jewish state, and they made war, and they made war 5 times. Had the Arabs accepted that resolution 65 years ago, we would now have a Palestinian state that'd be 65 years old. It doesn't exist. What was created at the UN this week was a fictional state in a useless body, the UN General Assembly. I don't think it's going to help the Palestinians at all.
Winners and losers, Juan. Winner.
Well, I think that a big winner is whoever won that Powerball. I'm told it was you, but I don't believe it. All right,
two people won it.
Well, yeah,
two families.
So I mean, that's a big winner.
One of them.
Of course, I hear that one of them's from Arizona. And Senator McCain had to tweet out that it wasn't him.
All right, loser?
Well, I think loser is anybody who was saying, oh, President Obama doesn't support Israel, or that there's no such thing as a missile defense shield. Iron Dome proved very, very effective for protecting Israel during this war.
Winner and loser, Bill?
I'll continue with my class warfare theme here, which I'd like to come back to every year, once a year or two. The winner of the week, I think, is the 19 top executives of Hostess Brands, who may get up bonuses worth up to almost $2 million as the company goes out of business for managing the going out of business, while the workers, of course, pension funds haven't been filled up for a year. And the losers, the workers of America, because, because in this budget deal that everyone's talking about, the one tax that everyone agrees should go up, apparently on the Democratic and Republican sides, with a couple of outliers, is the payroll tax, the Social Security payroll tax. So it is going to be a 2%. There's going to be a tax increase, in fact, in January, unless someone steps up and says, wait a second, we're giving everyone else a tax break and we're letting everyone's Social Security tax go up 2%.
Winners and losers.
Crystal's turning into a socialist.
Yeah. It's a family tradition way back. You know?
Our new Secretary of the Treasury sitting right over there. Workers' champion. The winner, Mahmoud Abbas, locally, because he outshone Hamas on this, even though the victory he won in the UN was a Pyrrhic one. The loser, Speaker of the House, John Boehner, he offered the president a peace pipe, and he got in return a demand that he turn over his sword, his shirt, and at the end, his trousers. That's a rather embarrassing position for the Speaker.
Well, he'll be asked about it on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace. That's it for the panel.